Well, it is a passion, and it's humbling is what it is. On one level, people want to understand your credibility, and a lot of, curious people always think you have to go somewhere, to get some kind of credential. And, that's our society, is we put value in that kind of learning. And at the end of the day, as much as you can study with somebody, or as much as you can learn a method, or as much money as you can invest with some of these trainers and people, at the end of the day, you have to be able to connect. You have to trust yourself. You have to be able to get with a horse and go, okay, this is all the information I was told, and you have to be able to say what's working and what's not working in this moment. Do I have connection, or do I not have connection in this moment? Am I safe in this moment? Does this horse feel connected to me, or is he just trying to figure out how to avoid what I'm doing? Another thing that I might add that makes, I think, me unique in how I approach equestrians and the people who have horses is that I do a huge part of what I do is working with horses at liberty. I train them at liberty. I start them at liberty. Rather than hurrying up and trying to get a bunch of tack on them, I put them free. And so I am getting an accurate read on how I am coming across to that horse, because he has the choice to leave at any time. True leadership is benevolent. True leadership is not about bossing somebody around. And yes, in horse land, he who can influence you to move has the upper hand in that moment. But true horse leaders in the horse world, meaning herds, I'm actually talking about horses, the one that gets seen as the leader and gets given the respect is also one that's fair. It's not about just kicking everybody around and saying, you move over here, I'm over here, and chasing. That's the very least of what happens. That only happens when they don't have the respect. But that leader horse makes a lot of choices, and while they might get to eat first, they also make a lot of choices that puts the community and the other horses first. That's part of being a leader, is being somebody who you're being, it's really inducing the art of followership, not leadership. So we think leader, we think, I'm going and you're going to come with me and I'm the boss. A true, if everybody's free to leave, if they can vote with their feet and say, wow, this person's kind of a jerk, he's kind of a bully, I think I'm out of here, right? Then really a true leader is somebody who inspires followership. It's like, hey, I've got this great idea. This is how I'm going to interact. What do you say? And then the horse goes, well, that sounds pretty good, because I don't want to think that hard. I think I'll just follow you. That sounds relaxing to me. I'm kind of lazy by nature. So if you're saying that's how it's going to be, I think I'm going to come along for the ride. And so you've just then inspired a willingness. You can't make a horse willing. You can force a horse to be, you can force and you can enforce. But true willingness is a choice. And when a horse is free and at liberty, boy, let me just tell you what, you get to find out how good you are at that. And that's a constant battle of the ego, and you have to constantly let go of your agenda in the moment and say, oh, I just blew it. Okay, backing off, trying again, going back, because you're creating this this trust and this engagement in the moment, and you're getting the real deal, because if the horse doesn't feel comfortable, he leaves your presence. You give him enough room. I don't like to work in a small round pen. I like to work in a space where the horse can go, I'm out of here. And so, then some of you are going, well, then how do you do that? How do you do that? If you don't have a rope or you don't have a way to control where a horse is, how do you make it engage with you? And here's where I say working with horses is really similar to working with people. Ultimately, people have a choice to be in your company or to not be in your company, to work in your company literally as an employee or not. And they may tell themselves, oh, I really can't afford to quit this job, and they might stay there reluctantly. But if they weren't worried about that, if they didn't really like what they were doing, they would go, I'm going to go get a job somewhere else because I don't like this environment. But the horses, God, I started on a really good point with that, and I can't come back. No, but the horses, the same thing. How do you create? So if you're loose and the horse is loose and free, and you're not using tack, and you're creating a relationship with the horse, how do you get the horse to want you? So if you're not using force and you're not using domination techniques in a way to enforce that. What are you doing? And that's the $1 million question, isn't it?